Okay, y'all. So, happy Resurrection Sunday / happy Easter for those who observe. Okay. Y'all are not gonna like me. Y'all are not gonna like me right now because I just finished Daysprings and Easter Bloom starring Amy T. Garden, who I do like, and Benjamin Hollingsworth, who I also like. So I like their Hallmark movies. Plus, I like Benjamin on Virgin River. So I'm a fan of these two leads, and I'm gonna say this nicely, and I know some of you are gonna eat me up in the comments, but an Easter Bloom is getting a 1 out of 10. Honey, it is Resurrection Sunday, and while y'all gave me a lot of God, y'all did not bring it home. Y'all didn't bring it to church. This movie fell flat in so many ways. I was actually pissed that I missed certain parts of Resurrection Sunday watching it instead of spending time with my friends. Well, really my family. I didn't mean friends. Spending time with my family and resting. Okay, that's what I could have been doing. This was 2 painful hours, or maybe like an hour and a half with my DVR. I did not enjoy it. I didn't think the two leads had chemistry. I'm all the way pissed about an Easter Bloom. Megan doesn't watch the Dayspring movies, and now I understand why. They usually premiere on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. So once again, I'm going to think that this is a movie for Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, but somehow it found itself over on Hallmark because of the writer's strike. So let me say this. The first Dayspring movie I think I watched was the one about death and dying when Nikki DeLoach's husband had died, and she was in a grief, counseling group and a grief support group. Okay, and I could get down with that. I saw The Blessing Bracelet. There's something else between those two movies, and I can't think of whatever it is. But whatever movie that came after the Nikki DeLoach one, I liked that one. Then I saw The Blessing Bracelet. I thought it was terrible, but it was over on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, and I don't typically do reviews for Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, even though I watched the movies, right? So then came A Miracle in Bethlehem, PA, which was the very final movie that came on for Countdown to Christmas over at Miracles of Christmas 2023. And I actually really enjoyed Miracle in Bethlehem, PA. As a matter of fact, I think that's my favorite Dayspring movie. I thought it brought the right combination of love, family, spirituality, God. I thought it brought it all together without being too preachy. Now, I'm going to say this. Even though y'all see me in my crop tops and all that other stuff, I am a Christian. I have been a Catholic my whole life. I fast during Lent. 2023 was a really hard time for me, and my faith is literally the only thing that got me out of bed. There was literally a time period that my health was in so much trouble that I could have died. And that's how bad 2023 was for me. And my faith took me through it. So I'm not watching this in the eyes of an atheist or someone who's more spiritual. I am religious, okay? I call today Resurrection Sunday. He is risen, honey, okay? He has risen. He's not there because his promise, he said he would not be there. And he paid for all of our sins, honey, but I'm not going to go on that rant. So for anybody that's over here judging me, I'm not the world's most perfect Christian, but if you ask my family and my friends, like, I take my faith extremely seriously, and my focus with God is just my private relationship with him. With that being said, that's why I'm giving this movie a 1 out of 10. Hallmark, Dayspring, do y'all think y'all could just say Jesus, Jesus a million times and it's going to be a religious movie? I learned nothing from this movie. I didn't feel closer to God in this movie. I was wondering where we were going in an Easter Bloom. I mean, this got weird. Let me get into the premise for those who didn't watch. So Amanda is a farmer and her dad passed away. The farm's in trouble. They're headed towards foreclosure. She does do some gardening, but baby, springtime, they still got snow on the ground. I don't know where they are, because I'm gonna be honest, so much of this movie was so cringeworthy, and that's why I said y'all are not gonna like me, because I cringed through this movie. And when I was telling Megan about it and I described it, she says it sounds fake religious. Yes, I feel like Dayspring made a mockery out of faith. I think there were so many opportunities to tie this movie in. I couldn't figure out if we were learning about how to make flower arrangements, if we were learning about how to get closer to God, or if they was trying to mash it together like some mashed potatoes, but it just turned out to be that box mashed potatoes, not that homemade good mashed potatoes that your grandmama would make. It was just a mess. They gave Benjamin the worst Southern accent I have ever heard. And then we had moments where we had to see our pastor crushing on Amanda. And yes, I do know pastors can marry. I do know that pastors can fall in love, but this movie just didn't know what it was. And it's one of my biggest issues with the Dayspring movies. They don't know how to really blend faith and love. So for example, Guiding Emily could have been a Dayspring movie, because Emily literally, as a newly blinded woman, had to step on faith, step on the love and support of her family in order to pursue her new life. She could not give up on herself. That would have been a great Dayspring movie, and you don't need to say God a million times, because to have such an accident and to come back from it and to have your family and friends support you, plus you find love, someone who accepts you, fully blind, that is a movie about faith, honey. And I don't think it mentioned God, okay? This was just a mess. All right, I'm going to say what the premise is real quick and move on from it, because I'm still pissed. 1 out of 10 at Easter bloom. Okay, so now the farm is about to go under, and they need the flowers to bloom, but there's snow on the ground. So one day, some lady crashes her car on the farm, and it turns out she's Pastor Derek's mom. She tells Amanda that she can join a flower arrangement competition, and she'll help her and teach her the 5 principles of flower arrangements. Now, if y'all watch this, were the 5 principles of flower arrangements supposed to be like 5 principles of faith? Because I know the very last one was love, but like I kind of tuned out on the rest of it, even though my eyes were still watching, because there was such a huge disconnect. Once again, I'll say, when the leads don't have chemistry, a disconnect. They had Pastor Duke up in there praising, worshiping. I don't know what it was. He was praising, and worshiping. It was a mess. But anyway, Amanda doesn't end up winning the competition. She comes in second. But the lady that wins, Constantine, I think was her name was, or Constance, she ends up giving the $20,000 to Amanda. Amanda can now save the farm from foreclosure. And then they're going to start her and her mom are going to start their own flower arrangement business on the side. In that time, she starts to fall for Pastor Derek. He's fallen for her. She didn't want to enter the church anymore after her father passed. But now she up into church. And let me tell you something. I have never been up in the church looking for love. I know some people find love in the church. And yes, I would like a man, a God-fearing man. That is for sure. But I literally, when I'm up in church or I'm up in mass, I'm literally there to have build that relationship between me and God. But that's just me. There's so many awkward moments. We can see they're crushing on each other, but then he's like out there spewing off this stuff about God. And yes, men of faith still deserve to find a wife, but I feel like we were teetering and tottering in a lustful area. And I'm saying this as a woman who wears crop tops. I just didn't understand how the heck the flowers blooming went with this whole storyline. What I see is Hallmark doing their usual formula, and then Dayspring put some tweaks on it, and it was like God. It might as well have been a rock song where the only word was God, okay? I did not like this movie. I do like Amy Teagarden. I do like Benjamin Hollingsworth. I think Dayspring failed, y'all. I think whoever who came up with this movie needs to be fired. And one of the most interesting comments, a lot of people love this movie. One of the most interesting comments that I saw was someone said, "Thank you, Hallmark. Thank you for following Great American Family in the tradition of giving us wholesome religious movies. Hallmark, y'all missed the mark, and I thought you made a mockery of faith. Not everyone's going to agree with me on this, but I did not think that this movie was worth 5 minutes. I cringed through it, and I did not understand how it was supposed to be bringing me closer to my faith, and it was just awkward. This is the thing with the Dayspring movies. Are y'all going to be making out in the church? It was just awkward. It was just all the way awkward, and I feel bad for Amy and Benjamin because y'all deserved better, and this is not a great way to really kick off spring. After shifting gears, and Easter Bloom is even a bigger flop. I'd love to see the ratings from this. I just think this spoke to your atypical angelical, or I just think it spoke to a certain type of Christian.